So as per usual, I'm just changing locations all the time. And no, I'm not being held hostage somewhere. I'm just in my parents' garage. Once again, at home on the farm. Basically didn't leave the farm. So if you don't leave the farm, you don't have to go back to the farm. I want to talk about something that for some reason I haven't seen anyone else talk about. I mean, of course, some people could have made a video about this and I just wouldn't have picked it up because it wouldn't have been on my radar. But it's just, I thought that it would be a bigger subject, and I thought that there would be more people maybe doing their own takes on it because it's a very personal thing. So it's going to be kind of another personal video, and it's just going to be me talking about how disappointed I am in YouTubers, in some YouTubers. I'm going to be talking about 2 YouTubers who have in very different ways disappointed me. I'm going to be talking about the way that we perceive people who tell the truth and what that impact has on the way we perceive them after we've discovered that they haven't told the truth or that they've done something to disappoint you. I can see why no one's made a video that I've seen about it, because it's sort of nebulous and it's very personal. The 2 YouTubers I want to talk about today, they meant a lot to me because we do develop this parasocial relationship to the people that we watch every day on YouTube, or at least I do. Even though I try really hard not to, it is a sense of disappointment I feel when a YouTuber lets me down, when they do something that I didn't expect and that I think is immoral. I wanted to make this video because these YouTubers have been living rent-free in my head for a few weeks now, and because of some recent developments, I thought it would be best time to talk about it now. So, first of all, check out my Welcome to Night Vale merch. I finally, after listening to Welcome to Night Vale for 7 years, finally caved in and got some merch this summer. And it's been great. Please go to the website, support them. They're doing the Lord's work. You know, something I'm a little concerned about is that in my other video about morally questionable songs, I think sometimes my language comes off as a little Christian, a little like pearl clutching, and I don't want it to, because I am by no means anything like that. If I kind of swerve into that as well here, you know, I can always use the excuse of being a non-native speaker. So I have a get out of jail free card for every time that happens. Anyway, I'm stalling. Let's get into the video. Let's talk about 2 YouTubers, very different YouTubers that are special to me and why they have disappointed me. What I want to start talking about is I was a very big fan of Tati Westbrook. I think I started watching her in 2017 or something. I had a video of hers recommended to me, and I found that she was a very calm presence. She was always very nice to watch. In the sense that she's always very calm in her demeanor. And I was at a point in time where I was very tired of YouTubers being loud, being fast talking, being exaggerated. And that actually ties into how, at the time, I was kind of anti-James Charles. I was one of those people who thought that he was annoying, but couldn't really put my finger on why. I mean, I do have kind of a pet peeve with people that just talk way too fast. That's why I don't like Trisha Paytas either. I remember thinking, I don't like watching his videos. I can tell that he's a very talented artist and he knows his shit. But I really don't want to watch his videos because there's something about the way he talks and the way he acts that is unappealing to me. And I can't sit down and watch 20-minute long videos about whatever. And then I found Tati. And I also found a lot of other YouTubers who have this sort of calm presence. And the reason also why I love that calm presence they have is because they come across as more truthful, as more adult in a way, as more trustworthy. And that was the dangerous part of it, I guess you can say, because what happens with that is that you develop this sensation the same way that I developed a reaction to James Charles without even knowing why. I also felt like, oh, I like Tati. She seems trustworthy, even though she's never had proof of her opinions being true. I'm of course going to talk about the controversy. I have been pretty deeply steeped in the entire case ever since it popped up nearly 2 years ago now, when the whole Bi Sister happened. Weirdly enough, that last year it got resurfaced over the summer, and that's when we gained new information about the whole ordeal. So James Charles was accused of really horrifying accusations. There were a lot of people, and by a lot of people I mean 3 ringleaders and then their following, calling James Charles a predator. They called him someone with predatory behavior. They said that he targeted straight men. It was a horrifying ordeal to watch happen in real time. And I remember, and this is what I find weird thinking about now, I watched Tati make her video where she spoke up about it. She made a long video where she talked about how she had seen his behavior. She thought it was unacceptable. She had heard whispers from other people saying that he had done inappropriate things. That was enough proof for her. She didn't need to see anything else. And that was enough proof for me. And that was what kind of scared me, because after I watched that 45-minute long video where she says that she, fully believed that James Charles was a predator based on very loose accusations. Also, keep in mind, in her Bi Sister video, she does not have a single piece of proof. Not at any time does she have any texts, any videos, any receipts, nothing to actually prove her claims that a person is a sexual predator. But that's the wildest thing. She got away with it because everyone trusted Tati. Tati would never lie to us, we all thought. We had seen all her videos where she gave her fully uncensored, unbiased opinion about makeup. And somehow we translated that into thinking, oh, if she says anything she has other opinions about other things, they must be true as well. She always wants to speak the truth. Her interest is always to give you the best product. She must also have an interest in giving you the truth about a dangerous situation involving a predator. The point of me making this video is because I was just so gooped. I was really taken aback when it turned out that Tati had been lying. Or at least she had been twisting the truth to benefit herself. And yes, there came out a lot of accusations about how she took down James Charles because she wanted to boost her own career. And I think there's a lot of evidence to support that. I think that it's worth talking about how, yes, the stupid vitamins, they were involved. There was a lot going on there about how James didn't want to promote her vitamins. She was respectful of that, she says, she claims. But then when he goes and promotes someone else's vitamins, that's when she snapped. And that's when she made the video. Yes, that is the most bizarre part of it, because it feels like you did all this for what? What I don't see a lot of people talking about, but that I find kind of interesting and damning to Tati, is that about a month after the Bi Sister video hits and James is bleeding subscribers, he has gained back a lot of subscribers after he made his response video where, he actually tells the truth and says that there is no basis for any of Tati's claims. James is a virgin and he had at no point been predatory toward people. And there were a lot of lies going on from Tati that he could prove because he actually brought the receipts. He actually showed everyone, hey, these are the actual texts that happened, and this is what actually happened in those situations that Tati described. What was interesting was that month after Bye Sister happened, and that James had gotten out, and he's gotten out his apology, so to say, not really apology, his explanation video, because he had nothing to apologize for, really. The only thing he had to apologize for was maybe being a little inappropriate, saying some inappropriate stuff. So after James makes this video where he explains himself and he clears his name, he gains back his followers. The damage has still been done, though, because even though a lot of people believed it, and it's, as far as we know, it's still truth. It's still what actually happened. There were still that feeling that Tati had done the right thing. A lot of people were just going, you know what? I still believe Tati. I still think she's truthful. And she went back to posting pretty much right after. She went back to posting her usual kind of videos. And what really caught my eye was that she released new products like a month after. I think I've said that a few times now, a month after. Did you hear? It was a month after James made his video. Not a great look for you to release products while you're like the hottest topic on the internet. Everyone's eyes are on you, and then you release products.
There is a new product launch within this video for Halo, and we'll talk about that at the end.
That's incredibly shady. And I didn't hear anyone talking about this, and I don't know why. But I was thinking at the time, hey, does anyone maybe equate the two things? Because at the same time, Jeffree Star was releasing products as well. Like a few weeks after. Weirdly enough, in the same space of time after, he had fueled the fires. He had accused James of being a predator. He had made a lot of vague accusations against him. He had really spinned the situation in his favor. He also conveniently releases a collection right after.
I have created my biggest palette to date, and of course this is the Jawbreaker collection.
Not a goddamn coincidence, not in my opinion. No sir, no way. What happened after I watched the Bye Sister video, and then I watched the James response video, and by the way, the subscriber counts of Tati and James were just going like it was mad. It was madness, honestly. How Tati immediately gained I think 5 million subscribers within a week, and then lost quite a lot of them immediately after, which was also pretty wild. That, someone thinks, oh, she stood up, she spoke up about these accusations, so we gotta subscribe to her. It's not like her other content has anything to do with this accusation. I don't know. I guess it got so much traction that people went on her page, they watched her other videos, they thought, hey, she's kind of cool, we should subscribe to her. I unsubscribed. I was one of the people who, after Tati had made her Bye Sister video, I ate that raw, but then after James's video went up, my loyalties disappeared. And I think I made the right decision. Especially now we're in 2021, and last year, over the summer, everything blew up again because new things resurfaced. I can't actually remember what started it. Why exactly did everything come back? I think it was because people started canceling Shane Dawson for good goddamn reason. I mean, just go watch D'Angelo Wallace's video on it. It's horrifying, it's very disgusting, it's uncomfortable to watch, but it's also necessary to watch, I think, in a lot of cases. So everything was blowing up over the summer. Then Tati tries to double down and make another video where she, lays the blame elsewhere. It wasn't actually her fault that, she endangered the life of a teenager. over some accusations and petty rivalry. She was actually being manipulated by Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson. And that was conflicting to me because I, despite everything, have a lot of sympathy for Tati. I followed her for years. I saw what her life was like. And I still think that there's a lot of truthfulness in her. However, I also think that she is driven by greed, as we all kind of are, to an extent. I think she saw that there was a business rival who was showing her up, and, you know, like Shane Dawson infamously said, they all wanted to serve James Charles a slice of humble pie the size of the Empire State Building. They all wanted to take him down a peg because he was threatening everyone's game. I know for a fact that Shane Dawson thinks that all teen YouTubers are a threat to him because he feels like he's been cheated out of a lot of money because he's been terrible with finances, so it must be their fault. I watched a video by Elise Yeezy weeks ago. She put up a video where she just goes through the entire Shane Dawson documentary vlog series. Let's just call it what it is. The Beautiful World of Jefree Star. Trademark. She just went over like all those terrible moments where Shane he's not talking, he's just whining at nobody in particular about how he feels it's unfair that he's been on YouTube for 10 years and he's not made the kind of money that Charli D'Amelio is making or some stupid shit. And of course, he's actually saying James Charles, but he's not saying James Charles. Never mind that there are just tons of reasons why he's been bad with finances. For example, not having a manager on YouTube. You know, that's kind of how you make smart business decisions.
All these YouTubers who started after me. It is embarrassing. Like when I look at that Forbes list and I look at like Lily Singh, Markiplier, all these people, I'm so not close to that it's like crazy.
They've made loads of smart monetary decisions. They've had management teams and PR teams behind them, which Shane Dawson, I think, has always looked down upon YouTubers having managers, I'm pretty sure. Like, looked down upon Tana Mojo for having a manager. But that's the point of a manager and financial advisors. They will make these smart decisions for you. If you're not smart, like, hire someone to be smart for you.
Another thing that really cemented why I trusted Tati so much when By Sister happened. Because in 2018, something happened with Tati where my trust for her cemented itself even further. She released a video where she gave another brutally honest review of a palette and other products from a brand called Makeup Revolution. And it was a collaboration between another YouTuber, Emily Noel, and Makeup Revolution. And Tati made a video where she did a wear test of some foundation, some concealer, some eyeshadow. It was especially the eyeshadow palette, however, that was controversial. She was having difficulty blending these eyeshadows. She was using all of her own products that she, trusts to use, the brushes she trusts using, the primer that she always uses, and somehow these shadows were not working out for her. And she was feeling a little disappointed about it. So she said that in her video. After that, there was another YouTuber called Kiki Chanel who put up a video where she said that Tati was attacking Emily Noel, the person who made the eyeshadow palette, that Tati was trying to take her down with a negative review and she was trying to make the sales drop and etc. And it was madness again. Kiki Chanel was just making this video just to spew vitriol.
Is she above Makeup Revolution? Is she working with somebody below her? I mean, what on earth?
She was really trying to be like the whistleblower, and she just did not have to do that.
I just like when people comment. I don't even care if it's a hate comment anymore. Like at this point, I'm like, whatever. I just want people to watch.
What happened afterwards is that Tati puts up a video where she responds to Kiki Chanel, and she says that everything Kiki Chanel said was wrong, and it was. There was nothing that Kiki said that was really valid criticism of Tati's review. She had misrepresented Tati, and she had tried to drum up drama for nothing. And what happened was that Tati came out looking good after this. Everyone thought, hey, Tati was being subjected to injustice here. And that's why we need to be more protective of her. And I was feeling the same way when that happened. I thought, hey, that was a shitty thing to do to Tati. Poor Tati. I should support her. And then, things died down. But it was a watershed moment because it once again proved how great of a person Tati is. How she just wants to tell the truth. She doesn't want to bash anyone. She doesn't want to be mean to anyone. And she didn't mean to be mean to Emily Noel because of her palette. She just wants to tell the truth, and she can't sit there in her makeup chair and make a video about how a palette is great when it's not.
That video was someone coming at me and my integrity for doing what I do with an honest approach on my channel. I try so hard to operate on just the makeup and keeping it pure and good and unbiased for you guys to a fault. I still will remain unbiased with any brand that sends me anything.
And that everyone applauded that. Everyone applauded the truthfulness. So that's why that Tati had so much ground, so much foundation, if you will, for being this trustworthy person to everyone. That leads me to the second part of this video, where I'm going to be talking about a very different YouTuber. And that's a much more recent case, because there hasn't been any new developments with Tati since she disappeared from the internet over the summer. There is another YouTuber who has kind of done the same thing to me. As if they've gone to my house and insulted me to my face. No, I mean, the same thing has happened, that I've trusted someone for a pretty long time. I think I followed her, I've subscribed to her for over a year now. And then recently she just kept making videos that made me question where my loyalties lie. They made me question her legibility. These videos have made me question what her values are. I was finding myself once again in this sort of parasocial relationship where I felt that I was on the same wavelength as this person because we had the same values. And now that I found out that it differs so much, I'm once again left in this position of feeling very disappointed at a person I've never met. The other YouTuber I want to talk about is Unnatural Vegan. Her name is also Swayze, and she has a YouTube channel where primarily she talks about vegan issues. What she has that other YouTubers kind of don't have is exactly that kind of calm presence that I love. Again, hey, there's that calm presence that indicates truthfulness. I thought that it was interesting how she was portraying vegan issues. I thought that it was interesting how she made response videos where she really stuck to the facts. She really wanted to present academic studies in a way to oftentimes debunk bogus myths about veganism. She did a lot of response videos to other vegans making really shitty and harmful claims. And I thought that that was just the right thing to do. And I think it's good how she exhibited this self-critical persona. She was always critical of other vegans. She was always showing how, hey, don't trust just anyone who, claims to be a dietitian. Don't trust anyone with a smile who is telling you that, yeah, you can eat fruit all day and sustain yourself off of that. And I liked also that, she talked openly about her eating disorder. I liked that, she talked about how she actually kind of got into veganism because of her eating disorder. And I thought that it was an interesting approach to actually show, her opinions about pretty hard topics. Also, she was probably the best vegan teacher, I guess you can say, because she always had an open mind. She would always, say that there's a lot more to veganism than meets the eye, and she was always a big supporter of reducetarianism, that, you know, you can slowly go vegan or you can reduce your meat intake, your dairy intake, and you don't have to make it an all or nothing issue. I think that's a pretty healthy stance to take. For a few weeks now, I've been feeling weird about her recent videos. And it's actually not just her recent videos, because it came to my attention that there were videos from a few months ago that people found to be a little sus. And I can see why now. But they were, oddly enough, videos that I didn't watch. And I think I maybe should have, because maybe I could have picked up on it sooner. But no, it happened, I think, a few weeks ago. So Swayze makes a video about cheating because she had tweeted some things about how she thinks that cheating is misunderstood in many ways. She basically thinks that cheating sometimes happens because you're stuck in a relationship where you are not given the sex that you deserve. You're not sexually satisfied, and that's why you turn to cheating on your spouse. She defended this by saying that it's cruel to your partner to keep them from having sex with you if you don't want to, and them going out and having a side piece is fine. Because it's their right. It's their human right to have sex with people. And if they can't have sex with their legal spouse, then they're totally allowed to go out and do that. I know I'm boiling down her points pretty much, reducing them to just a few catchy words. But when she made a video about her tweets, because her tweets got a lot of interaction from people saying, "What the hell are you talking about? None of this makes sense, and you're missing tons and tons of factors." She doubled down by making a video where she explained, actually, I'm still right. These are still my opinions, and I feel like I'm in the right. After I watched that video, and it made me feel pretty uneasy. The comment section was just full of people saying, hey, you totally, looked over all of these factors that you could have included in this very complicated issue, but instead you chose to do some very strange thinking that is just very unexpected of you. No one expected Swayze to suddenly defend cheaters. I recommend that anyone, go and watch these videos that I'm mentioning here. In the case of Swayze, all these recent videos, the comment section has been oddly truthful. It has been really showing, how much of her demographic thinks, what they think of her views. It does mean something when you have a bunch of comments that are getting upvoted by the thousands saying something to you. That does reflect how your audience thinks of you, so it would be maybe worth listening to. But no, that's not what happened. I want to find the cheating video and just read some of the comments. So something really basic that people pointed out that Swayze just decided to ignore was that this, for example, this comment here, you should actually always be surprised when your partner cheats. That's because cheat means to deceive, to mislead, to fool, to trick and lie. And that's what was, interesting about Swayze's argument, which was that, you shouldn't be surprised if your partner cheats on you if you haven't had sex with them in a while. Which is strange because, yes, you should be surprised. This person that you're married to or in a long-term relationship with have broken your trust by lying to you. They have not been truthful in saying, hey, I don't know why we aren't fulfilling each other's sexual needs at the moment, but I can't go on like this, and I need my sexual needs fulfilled, or something like that. I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's doable, instead of just going out and cheating on your partner. Jesus Christ, Swayze. Here's an interesting comment that mirrors some of the concerns that I have, which is that, You are so empathetic to animals, yet I feel more and more that you don't grant humans the same empathy. There's an odd amount of people going like, hey, are you all right? I don't understand why you're making these kind of videos as of late. And it feels kind of off-brand for you. And I'm concerned that maybe you're not doing okay. Like this one, someone saying, yo, you good? This seems like something you should work through off Twitter and off camera. They're not wrong. If you are walking around with some complicated feelings on something, maybe don't publicize everything at all times, you know? I mean, we all post personal stuff, but you really need to assess what's worth starting a big internet fight over. You know, what hills are worth dying on? Here's another comment that I can't help but agree with. Youch, this is a bad take even with your justifications. As a woman married to a man, we love each other very much. My libido has fluctuated a lot over the years due to mental illness, stress, medication, and other factors totally out of my control. My partner and I have struggled with this a lot, and to hear people say that it would be justifiable for him to betray my trust and cheat on me just so he could be sexually satisfied hurts a lot. And wow, those poor men who have to suffer a whole week without sex. Never mind their partners who might be struggling with depression, birth control that makes them experience mood swings and other major side effects, anxiety, stress, etc. It's the men that are suffering here. And I can see why people were taking issue with this, you know, because what Swayze really is doing here is saying, oh, those poor men, those poor people that have to cheat on their partners because they don't get laid enough. Never mind that talking to your partner exists. Here's a concerning comment, because it's true. I kind of see where you're coming from, but this sort of attitude could lead to women forcing themselves to engage in intimate activities they aren't comfortable with or don't enjoy in order to keep their man. I'm gonna read another one here. Women shouldn't be surprised when they cheat. Bullshit. If you have a relationship supposedly built on love and trust, then you should not expect them to cheat because your sex drive has lowered. You should expect them to communicate with you. Exactly what I've been saying so far. I also don't understand the part about women being praised for cheating. Women are constantly vilified and stereotyped as being promiscuous even just for the clothes they wear. Slut and whore get thrown at women daily by other women as well as men. This whole video comes across as victim blaming and I'm disappointed. Look how that comes back into me being disappointed. And yeah, I'm not the only one. More people being disappointed, like this comment. I'm pretty disappointed in you. Have your opinions, but many times a low sex drive is a mental health issue and therapy can help. Sex therapists exist, so do normal therapists. I know from experience that depression and anxiety can destroy a sex drive. And given how many women experience mental health crises after pregnancy that goes untreated, I can't imagine why their sex drives would be down. To poo-poo therapy and reduce relationships to sex is kind of gross. Shame on you. Another comment that I also agree with here. The painful part about cheating is the lying, betrayal, and deception, not someone else trying to meet their needs in an alternate way. Cheaters selfishly choose to betray the person that loves and trusts them most, rather than communicating their needs honestly and maturely. In my opinion, that shows a low level of morality, implying that Swayze did not think through her morals when she made this video or when she tweeted those things. Oh, and I found my own comment that I made a month ago, and it says, I hope you make a follow-up video after you've read the comments on this video. And guess what? She did. But I also got a lot of comments of people saying, interesting predictions. A lot of people agreeing. I got a few hundred likes and 14 comments. Some people just agreeing straight up. And then someone making a pretty poignant comment saying, if it's anything like previous follow-ups, the summary will be like, I'm right, I'm not apologizing for it, here's another 10-20 minutes of me telling you why I'm not wrong and doubling down on it instead of even considering a nuanced view of my own points. And that's the issue here, though. And it was the same issue with Tati, that everyone is telling you, hey, this ain't right, this ain't it, chief. But you are just doubling down and you're just thinking, how can I save my ass? How can I convince everyone that actually I'm right, and the masses and masses of people telling me I'm wrong are wrong. How can I spin this in my favor instead of being true to myself and just telling people, hey, I made a mistake. I take it back. I can see why people are upset. I can see that, there was a lot of people that pointed out factors that I hadn't considered. And now that I've seen them, I understand why you think that I should have maybe reconsidered my opinion. And I have, and I apologize to everyone. How hard is that? And there's another thing I want to talk about, which is that I understand why YouTube apologies are the way they are. And it's taken me a long time to formulate why. The reason that people do these non-apologies, where you just sit down and you put the blame on someone else. You just say, hey, you're actually wrong, and I was still right, and actually I'm a victim. The reason why you see so many YouTubers doing these kind of apologies, instead of just sitting down and doing an apology where they say, I said some messed up stuff, I apologize for it, and it was mistakes, and I am so sorry I hurt so many people. It was my mistake and my fault. And the reason why they're doing, non-apologies or backhanded apologies, like the videos that everyone's seen of, YouTubers sitting on their floor crying. The reason they're doing this is because legally they cannot take the blame. It's not, up to them that they sit there and say, oh, I've made terrible mistakes, because these YouTubers have a lot of people that depend on them. There's a lot of people going on behind the scenes, especially with Tati, especially with Shane, especially with Jefree Stars, etc. And these people are depending on them making money. They're depending on them making content and being able to make content. So you can't go out and actually say, I was wrong in this. Also, for another legal reasons, as far as I know, it is possible to sue someone if they admit guilt by apologizing actually in a real way. So James Charles could have easily sued everyone if they had apologized for real. I don't know if he can still actually sue them. I think if I was James Charles, I would sue the shit out of everyone. I would not try and, play nice. I would just sue everyone. But I think there's a lot more complicated legal stuff going on. Maybe there's something that prevents him from suing. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know anything about law. So that's a tangent. But I'm just saying I understand why YouTubers are making non-apologies, because most of the time, people will still think of it as an apology. That's what happened to Jefree Star when he made tons and tons of videos apologizing for his racist behavior, his racist past, and people bought it because people said afterwards, well, he's apologized for it, so you can't hound him for it anymore. Bullshit. Anyway, I want to go back to the unnatural vegan, back to Swayze, because it did not stop there. She just, kept making her usual videos, vegan issue videos, stuff like that. She really just went back to her normal shtick. You can see the lighting is different because I had to wait 15 minutes or so to empty my camera. Very exciting. So let's go back to more stuff on Swayze. So after that, she made a video talking about her political ideology, which is always, a hotbed of problems whenever someone makes any kind of video about what their political ideals are. The problem with this one was that Swayze got a lot of things wrong, just like definitions, and she got called out for it. For example, this one, the most upvoted comment, you're in for a treat when someone says new liberalism is left-leaning. Also, this incredible concoction of hypocrisy. I don't have any political ideology. I'm not fervently pro-capitalist. I am, however, anti-capitalist. What? Which is my thoughts too. Here's another poignant comment. The sad thing about this is she's going to read all these comments and still think she's right. And that's kind of funny how other people started to suspect that, Swayze has a problem with being called out on her bullshit. Other stuff of people criticizing her views on, how she can't imagine, she said in her video, she can't imagine capitalism being ended anytime soon. And here's the one said, she can imagine an end to the consumption of animals, which we have been doing for over 12,000 years, but can't imagine an end to capitalism, which we've only been doing for a few hundred. A lot of other comments. I'm not going to go through more of them. I'm going to put a few on the screen because I think there's just a lot to talk about. And I think it's very interesting how I've almost never seen videos where the comment section is overwhelmingly right, especially on someone like Swayze. I don't think I've seen a lot of videos where the comment section was actually, pointing out the truth of it all, that there's stuff that's going on they're criticizing her for. She immediately made some response videos, which I think she just should have stayed out of. But you can't say that. You can't censor someone and just say, oh, you shouldn't have spoken up about this. It wasn't your place to talk about it. In some cases, it isn't your place to talk about, like this one, because there's a lot of sensitive issues at work here. I'm not really eloquent enough to get into all of it. Not at the moment, at least. I haven't really scripted this video at all. I haven't even written down notes. So if I'm saying something wrong, that's on me. But really what happened, the drama, let's get into the whole thing of it. There's a TikToker and YouTuber called That Vegan Teacher. She has made a lot of controversial videos because she is a militant vegan. And that's not the bad part. The bad part is that she compares veganism to racism, to homophobia, to a lot of things in a pretty undeniably serious way. She may be trying to hide behind a joking facade, but it's clear that she really does think that this is a great argument, to say that the oppression of queer people is equivalent to the oppression of animals. Of course it is. And it's also equivalent to the oppression of vegans. And there's just a whole lot wrong with that. Swayze doubled down, as she has now proven to do, because she made a response video to iNabber doing a response video on That Vegan Teacher, or like doing a commentary video. That video wasn't the worst one that Swayze did, because a lot of the things iNabber says are just kind of idiotic. He makes a lot of kind of stupid arguments about how, actually meat eating is right. And that's not even the point at all with these things. The point is that That Vegan Teacher was making super inappropriate claims. She was making a lot of concerning opinions. And it becomes more concerning when someone like Swayze backs her up, because that's what happens in the response video she made about iNabber. She says that actually nothing she did was wrong. And she's actually right about all these issues that she brings up. And she's actually joking, you guys. It's actually not serious at all. She's actually just really joking with everyone. Then what happened that really got my piss boiling is that she did a response video to D'Angelo Wallace reacting to That Vegan Teacher. And also because That Vegan Teacher then did a response video to D'Angelo, and then he did a response video to that. It's a whole vortex of response videos. If you're not into these kind of things, you're not watching these kind of videos, I want to know what your life is like. In D'Angelo's video, he makes a lot of valid points about how, first of all, it's concerning that That Vegan Teacher is making videos comparing homophobia to vegan phobia, to people being mean to vegans. And of course, a lot of the comments on this video are saying stuff like, I gotta tell you, nobody has been lynched for being a vegan. Pretty strange to compare it to racism or homophobia. That's the most upvoted comment. Also, by vegan phobia, do you mean people joking about eating meat? Because I'm pretty sure you've never been fired, harassed, or killed for being vegan. What an ice cold take. Unsubscribed. Me too. A lot of other people echoing my feelings of disappointment, really, really disappointed to see that this is the hill you're choosing to die on. Because it is disappointing. Why is this the person you want to defend, Swayze? Why did Swayze want to defend That Vegan Teacher for her shit views, for harassing a 16-year-old boy, making really inappropriate comments toward him? Why is Swayze defending That Vegan Teacher for making a song the day that George Floyd died, about how veganism is just like racism issues. She made a song about the oppression of animals, and she titled it "I Can't Breathe." And I don't need to tell you any more than that. I think not. A lot of other people have been way more eloquent in talking about this. Again, I say go watch D'Angelo's videos. So something that really just rubbed me the absolute wrong way. It's not as serious as the other stuff. It's just that what Swayze, one of her mistakes was that she made a post on like her YouTube community. I don't know how that works. She made a post on YouTube where she said, "Can anyone like point me in the direction of real criticism? Anyone who's made actual real criticism of that vegan teacher and not just random kids on YouTube." I'm pretty sure she used that exact phrasing. And a lot of people got kind of mad about it because they were like, okay, so D'Angelo Wallace, who has like 1 million subscribers, he's just a random kid on YouTube? I think the fuck not. Swayze just ignores all the things that vegan teacher has done, and she justifies them and she defends her for no good reason. And I don't understand what the motivation is here. In Tati's case, the motivation was obviously money. It was feeling threatened by a rival, and she wanted to take them down. In this case, Swayze is getting nothing out of defending that vegan teacher. Nobody likes that vegan teacher. Nobody is out there thinking, oh, she's a great source of information and she is also, I don't know, super rich and she could pay me for saying nice things about her. I don't think that's happening. Well, who knows? It's not for me to speculate on. What the issue is here, that Swayze just keeps doubling down on it. And then she made this video where she responds to D'Angelo. She really just misinterprets all of the points that he has. And then she glosses over all the problematic things that vegan teacher had done. Conveniently, to make her point more strong. Here's a comment I agree with. It says, "She's trolling is not a valid excuse for her harmful behavior. Saying she's trolling and completely ignoring her, making that racist song and using murder of a black man to promote veganism is so fucked up. You skipping over that part and ignoring her racism is so mind-blowing to me. I can't believe you have the nerve to tell a young black man that your experience with being teased for being vegan is on par with actual racism." And here's a comment responding to Swayze saying something about that vegan teacher and how actually that vegan teacher is not being serious, you guys. She's just trolling. So let me get this straight. It's obvious when she's joking, being sarcastic, trolling, etc., about serious issues, but it's outlandish to question whether or not she's a real nurse. That alone demonstrates your bias here. You can't use joking as a cop-out for some things and then turn around and berate people for not trusting her on other things. That was also in relation to D'Angelo showed some disbelief over finding out that vegan teacher is a nurse. I think his disbelief was grounded in how it's concerning that someone with so little regard for people, for humans, would be a nurse, would be in the healthcare industry. Here's another great quote from Swayze she can't back out of. "Homophobia is related to choice. Tell that to every closeted kid that was still bullied because their peers perceive things about them as gay." It feels mind-blowing. It feels mind-blowing to watch Swayze make video after video with shit takes. Videos where she's just putting her fingers in her ears and not listening to anyone. She's just doubling down on all kinds of bullshit because she thinks that she can't possibly be in the wrong here, which is so weird because she's always been pretty self-aware in all of her other videos. She's always, tried to look at it from all sides. She's always tried to gain perspective on how the other party must be feeling. And it's wild, this drop in empathy, this way that she's suddenly decided to just ignore facts, ignore the issue on the table, ignore the receipts, just to defend that vegan teacher. It feels really weird, and it feels like a out-of-the-blue move for Swayze to do. It's disappointing. That's the whole point of this video I'm making. I feel disappointed. I feel like we are losing our best and brightest to this weird wave of like, oh, I can get away with doing anything because I don't have to apologize for my actions. People will still follow me. Never mind that Swayze right now is bleeding subscribers, and I think she's lost like 10K over the last week. It's not James Charles numbers of like losing 1 million subscribers in a day, but it is worrisome. I've unsubscribed because I just can't agree with these things anymore, and her older videos are also solid for me now. I can't watch them. And I feel like I want to mourn this loss of these people that I've touted as trustworthy. And also, it makes me feel dumb. It makes me feel like I've trusted the wrong person, and how could I be so blind to not see them doing wrong? It's baffling to me that you can have your entire core audience tell you directly, hey, this isn't working. You're doing something concerning. I don't agree with your opinions. There are tons and tons of people that are telling you that you need to reconsider your stance here. And she just says, no, actually, no, I'm still in the right. Actually, you've all misunderstood me. Actually, none of you are really, doing the real research here. It's actually me who's right. And also, finally, as a last thing, she did a video a few days ago where she answers everyone's criticisms, especially concerning the D'Angelo Wallace video. And she basically, once again, doubles down on everything. She just says, hey, it's actually everyone misunderstanding me. Actually, I'm just gonna completely change my opinion of this thing, even though I just, said something completely different. But actually, I meant it in a way that, you weren't smart enough to understand or whatever. I can't understand why a person who obviously knows a lot about research, obviously knows a lot about finding truths in facts, is doing this shit. Which is why I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. I'm glad that I've made this video now so I can get it out of my head. Because I don't want to keep thinking about these things. It's just going to weigh me down. And if there's anyone else out there who's feeling the same way, I hope you can get it out too, because it's not worth it to just feel like, you're thinking about these YouTubers that have disappointed you and you feel like you've lost a companion in a way. So I hope that we can all move on now and we can, just pray, again with the Christian thing, we can all hope that the people we trust, the best and brightest, aren't lost to us, that they aren't going to give in to greed or give in to shitty opinions, and they will actually own up to their mistakes, like a person should. Is that moralism? Well, sue me. I'm just saying, if I was in that position, that thousands of people were commenting on my video saying, hey, I don't think that you're getting the full scope of this, and maybe you should read your comments and see what your audience thinks, and maybe you should reconsider these opinions because you've overlooked a lot of things, I would go, oh, shit, you're right. I'm reading these comments, I'm seeing that tons of people are concerned, tons of people are bringing up points that I missed, and I will choose to do the right thing and mend it. And I hope that if for some reason that did happen to me and somehow I, don't react that way, if I miss it somehow, that someone would hold me accountable and say, hey, this ain't it, Chief. I don't know. Swayze's never gonna watch this. Tati's never gonna watch this. It's only my core friends who are watching my videos, and I'm very happy that it's just them because I would not be able to handle a shitstorm. But if for some goddamn reason these people were to watch it, I'm just saying it now. Do the right thing. It's not that hard to own up to your mistakes and say once in a while, hey, I was wrong and I learned something. And I know that Swayze can do it because she's made tons of videos about how she was wrong about her old opinions, about how she was wrong when she was a raw vegan for years and she was having a terrible time, but she didn't want to admit it, and she kept lying to herself and to her audience. And then when she finally got out of it, she is now making videos about her old videos, about how she was wrong in those, and she was promoting a dangerous diet. And it's okay to be wrong. That's the whole point of it. And I thought she would be able to see it, but she can't. She's so stuck in this mindset of like, I am actually right and everyone's wrong. So, boo. And I hate that. So, hey, I have to go now. I have to go get some lunch. It's really late. I've been filming for ages. This is going to be the longest video, and I'm not going to apologize for it. Ha ha ha. I am going to apologize for actual mistakes, but not this. So, goodbye.